I got you. Let it rap real quick. Look. The city eyes, it's time to vote God. My God, a real nigga, cause he wasn't no flaw. Posted on the corner like a watchdog. Family secure, got that shotty in the closet by the mob ball. Fuck what they heard, but tell them it's all true. Be cautious, that foundation falls to you fall through. They gon' fall. Look, I keep this shit 50 times 2. Ain't no more heart in this game, I'm John Q. Colder than the avalanche, way above average. Fierce taste sweet, told him make me an apple tree. Left us in the valley full of bones, this where hope found. Java, come on, man, dark sands get broke down. Riding through Evans to a mall quad. Telling me how the crackers turn this childhood to a ghost town. Focus out, nigga, I lay that game down. I feel his pain, cause nothing is the same now. Let my light shine like heaven through a rain cloud. Glock have a fit like my child, no tangent. Try to warn them niggas, we bear arms like tarantulas. Them other niggas rap, I make anthems. I really seen prophets under this banner. Made my enemies bow down on camera. Told my design I wanted black and white like a panda. I'm better than that nigga that sunk dirty to handle. Look, I move like a Brazilian, precious cargo, spirit ancient, but I got a new semi-auto. Wave that bitch around like where's Hardo. Sleep if they won't, I cut through they Z's like I'm Zorro. Pay me for his name, so I gotta keep that steel clutch. Trust me, I'm not what you think. I squeeze till it click like Dorothy when the heels touch. The world got me dumb, I don't feel much. Ride around with Yaradon, just left the state bridge. Looking for a bitch better than baby's kid. Remember I dropped Quiet Storm, I've been gone ever since. Still in the field, fuck them niggas on the fence, yeah.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he robbed? Absolutely. So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. This obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home. Only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me. And let the whole world see the rhythm in the cages, safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash. Get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a payback is a
Look, Ain't no remorse in my blood, Slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. There was design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new pair of bellows.
You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door. Payback is a door. It's a door.
Yeah, on 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit. Fine in, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I did it, nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, up to solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank from there, I got real soldiers, kill folk, and nigga, watch yourself. They said you been in beast mode lately, you is not yourself. When you dropping that fire, precious marriage, they inquiring. They can't stop what's coming, but I see them conspiring. Cross the line, them firing. This bitch here, finna break the spin. No kindness, I don't trust you, circle small. You can keep your features. Me and my niggas don't keep no secrets. In the feel like Jeepers Creepers, say they want some smoke, dog. So I brought these chimney sweeps. Coming like we coming, you can't even count. These niggas don't run it like we running, bitch, don't even start. Bitch, I'm with my niggas till the end, till them do us part. If you wanna leave, you can leave, bitch. Bless your heart, fine in. I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He nice, but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. I heard they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rate for real. Take over in effect, yeah, I'm fully focused. You might not see it on me, just know it's women, that bitch fully loaded. Ooh, yeah, we up and rolling. Told them I need major motion. Think I'm joking, I'ma school them niggas like they baby Jody. Got it out the dust, now I'm too clean, don't know why they hate me. What you want out life, dog? Guns and butter, baby boy. You PK top, dog. Certified road runner. I'ma turn that Ecoline into a damn tank. I got chopper stash in the attic like they had Frank. They had that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gon' show them boy what time Facebook. He don't show the skills how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a made, circle tight, yeah, back and seal. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got Ray for real. Dang!
Hey, Shalom Israel. Yabashim Yashai Barak a thumb to the brothers. Yashim thumb Bashim Yashai to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer Parak. To my right is my Ottawa priest and officer of 1,000, Oscar War. We holding down the Sabbath service for the ISUPK coming out of Arizona. Get that a hand. All right, if you're watching online, you can see at the very bottom of the screen, we have our class location, which is 12416 North 28th Drive. We're located off the corner of 28th Drive and Cactus. We're in suite number 4. We got classes every Tuesday through Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. And then every Saturday, we hold our Sabbath service from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. All right. Today's topic, we're going to be in Nahum, the first chapter, a book that you don't really hear too much about in the Bible, but it's extremely important. Nahum was an extremely important prophet to brothers and sisters at the time of the Assyrian captivity, but also us reflecting on it today. He was a very extremely important prophet to what we have going on in America. All right. We all understand that America is what the book of Revelation describes as mystery Babylon. You understand? Sodom, you know what I mean? Spiritually, Sodom and Gomorrah. Like, this place is hell, man. And the Lord gave his, that's what's so important about, before we even get into it, man, the Lord gave his prophets to warn us about things that were happening, but also to teach us how to deal with the things that are happening. It's easy for us to be like the NFAC, the not effing around coalition, and go and take up arms against the white man. It's easy. You could just pick up a bunch of AR-15s and go stand at Capitol Hill and threaten them like the NFAC did, or like the Black Panthers did. But the problem is when that thing is not of the Lord, it fails, because the Lord didn't tell you to do that. The Lord told us what we're about to find out today. Today's topic is going to be about the Lord's vengeance. We spend so much time, when we get upset, like the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes 7:7, oppression maketh a wise man mad. It's okay to be upset. It's okay to be angry with what our oppressor has been putting us through. But you cannot work off of emotion. The NFAC, the Black Panthers, all of them cats worked off of emotion. And what happened to them? Their leaders got killed. I think the NFAC's leader, I think he got jammed up for what, like extortion or something like that. His members was shooting himself in the feet. It was just terrible. You understand? Because it wasn't of the Lord. The Lord does not want you to go fight the white man. We're under punishment right now for breaking the Lord's laws, statutes, and commandments. The Lord tells us explicitly how to deal with the oppression that we face because of our disservice to God. You understand? We got to remember, we're here because of our mistakes, our forefathers' mistakes. So now we have to deal with the oppression. We have to deal with the punishment. I'm not telling you to, just kiss the white man's foot. What I'm telling you is the Lord is going to give us our revenge. You understand? And that's important. And I love teaching these types of things on the Sabbath service, because this day, of course, is our culture. Like, our culture is to keep the Sabbath service. This was a day that everybody in Israel came to the temple, and the priest read out of this book of the law, man. They read out of the law, they taught the law, and gave an understanding of it. This is our culture. So now for us to be able to do this in our captivity is extremely important. But I like to make sure that on these days that we talk about the hope that the Lord has for us. You understand? The Lord is going to deliver us out of this captivity, and He's going to give us the vengeance that you want to give yourself. You understand? Which is in the spirit of our people. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into a little bit of history. We're gonna get into, of course, the prophecies, and we're gonna get into what the Lord expects from us and what the Lord also is telling us that He's gonna do as far as vengeance to the other nations. All right. With that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Imayum, which means to stand. Panyagwadam, which means turn and face the east. I'm going to start off with the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawu, Shabashamayu, Wadash, Haya, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwat Ka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayu, Nathalanawa, Lakam, Call Yawam, Wasalakanawa, Kawatnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawatyanawa, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Panasai 1, Abal, Hawashai Nawa, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Watha Para, La'aiwalamyum, Aman.
Now in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it.
We're going to read the Hakak, or the power, in the Hebrew. Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushai. Baba Kushai. Nathalanawa Hakak. Hakak L'Rapa'ah. Kal Maka'ala. Wakal Madawa. Hakak Latahar. Hamatazarayim. Hakak. Lakwayam. Hamathyam. Hakak. Arakawa. Katama'ala. Lagarashan. Ba'ashem Yahushai.
The water Aman. Now in English, Yahweh. In the name of Yahweh. Please give us the power. The power to heal all manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name of Yahweh. Thank you. So be it.
We're going to read Psalms, the 121st chapter in the Hebrew. Asha'ah, Ayanya, Al-Haharyam, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'aim, Yahweh, Aisha, Shamayam, Wa'arataza, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shamarka, Hana, La'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawmar, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shamarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamat, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makal Rai, Yashamar, Napashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'afka, Waba, Wa'aka, Ma'aitha, Wa'ai, Awalam.
Now in English, I will lift up my eyes unto the hills. From whence cometh my help? My help cometh from the Lord. Which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel. Shall neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord is thy keeper. The Lord is thy shade. Upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day,
the sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all
The
evil.
Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy soul.
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
The Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in
and thy coming in.
from this time forth
This time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. We're going to read Psalms 83rd chapter in the Hebrew. Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Adamaya Laka.
Aldamaya laka.
Al Takaraj.
Al takaraj.
Wa Al Tashakwat.
Wa al tashakwat.
Al.
Al
Kayahana.
kayahana.
Awa Yabyaka.
Our yibika.
Yahamaya 1.
Yahamaya 1.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al Imaka.
Al imaka.
Ya'ira Yamwa.
Ya'ara yamwa.
Sawada. Wayatha.
Wayatha.
Ya'itazawa.
Ya'itazawa.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Al tazapawajaka.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Wakawa.
Wanakakidam.
When I cock you down.
Magaya.
Wagalia.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yasha'ala.
Sham yasha'ala.
Iwada.
Iwada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawaitazawa.
Nawa'itazawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Barya.
Barya.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahawya.
Ahawya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashamai Aliyam.
Wayashama aliyam.
Mawa Abba.
Nawa abba.
Wahagaryam.
Wahagaryam.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Wa'ima 1.
I'm a one.
Wa'ima
Wa I'm a lot.
Pelashah.
Halashah.
I'm Yeshabya.
I'm Yeshabya.
Tazawar.
Tazawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Gum Ashawar.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Imam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zarawai.
Zarawai.
Labanya Lawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aishalaham.
Ashalaham.
Kamadyan.
Kamadyan.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Sara'ah.
Sara'ah.
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan.
Banakal.
Banakal.
Kwayashwan.
Kwayashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Ba'ayan.
Ba'ayan.
Da'ra.
Da'ra.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adama.
La'adama.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Nada.
Nada.
Yabmawa.
Yabmawa.
Ka'ira.
Ka'ira.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakatazal.
Wakatazal.
Mana'ai.
Mana'ai.
Call.
Call.
Let's say a Kamwa.
I say Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Nayarashah.
Naya Rashad.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Ah.
Ah.
Na'awat.
Na'awat.
Alahayim.
Alahayim.
Alahaya.
Alahaya.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kagalgala.
Kagalgala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya Rakah.
Panyaraka.
Ka'ash.
Ta'ash.
Tharadapma.
Taragatma.
Basa Iraka.
Basa Iraka.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapatka.
Wapatka.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Mala'a.
Mala'a.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kuala 1.
Kuala 1.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wayabahawa.
Aya Ai.
Aya.
Wakaparwa.
Wakaparwa.
Waya Abadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Waya Da'aiwa.
Wayada'aiwa.
Kaya Atha.
Kayatha.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahawa.
Yahawa.
Labadka.
Labadka.
Alya 1.
Alya 1.
Alka.
Alka.
Ha'arataza.
Ha'arataza. Now in the English, keep not thou silence, O God.
Keep not thou silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo,
For lo,
thine enemies make a tumult,
thine enemies make a tumult.
and they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people,
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
and consulted against thy hidden
And
ones.
consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
that the name of Israel
That the name of Israel
may be no more in remembrance.
may be no more remembered.
For they have consulted together
For they have consulted together
with one consent.
with one consent.
They are confederate against thee,
They are confederate against thee.
the tabernacles of Edom,
The tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
of Moab,
the Hagarenes,
the Hagarenes,
Gebal,
Gebal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the
the
Philistines,
Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
Assur also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah,
Salah.
do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of Kison,
at the brook of Kisar,
which perished at indoors.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became as dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their numbers like a red,
and like Zeeb.
and like Zahir.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Zebah,
all their princes as Zabah,
and as Zalmunna,
and as Zalmunna,
who said,
who said,
Let us take to ourselves the houses of God in possession.
let us take to ourselves the houses of God in the possession.
Oh my
Oh
God,
my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as a stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the wind.
as the fire burneth the wood,
The fire burnt the wood,
and as a flame setteth the mountains on fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid of thy storm.
make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
For their faces with shame,
that they may seek thy name, O Lord.
that they may seek thy name, O Lord.
Let them be confounded
Let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame
let them be put to shame
and perish,
and perish,
that men may know that thou,
and men may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
are the most high over all the earth.
are the most high of all the earth. We're going to read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Yahweh Shai?
Why Ma'aka Allah?
Why Yahweh Allah?
Why Lahayim?
Why Alahayim?
Matazab Ya'ah.
Matazab Ya'ah.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Alawap Yahana.
Allah Wapyam.
Ha'alawapyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hasaranyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakwatazayanyam.
Hakaya Yoyam.
Hakayayayam.
Wahakwatyan.
Waha'akwatyan.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Bahashem Yahweh Shai.
What Aman.
The water Aman. Now in English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yahana.
Commanding General Yahana.
The generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
Troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Sorry while you're shopping. You can turn and be seated. All right. Once again, we will be in Nahum, the first chapter. 1. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna read the Hebrew. So we'll read the first 7 verses in the Hebrew. We'll read it in the English. We'll break it on down. Y'all understand how this works. All right. Beginning with Nahum chapter 1 and verse 1 in the Hebrew. All right. Mashah, Nayanuwa, Sapar, Salakia, Kazawan, Nakawan, Ha'alakwai Yasha, verse 2, Al Kwanawam, Wanakwam, Yahweh, Nakwam, Yahweh, Waba'al, Kamal, Nakwam, Yahweh, Latazar Yawan, Latazar Yawa, Wanawatar, Hawa, La'ab, Salaki, La'ayab Yawa, verse 3, Yahweh, Arak, Apayam, Wagadal, Kach, Wanakwa, La'a, Yanakwa, Yahweh, Basawapa, Wabashira, Darakwa, Wa'ai Salaki, Wa'anawa, Abak, Ragal Yawa, verse 4, Gawa'ar, Bayam, Wayabash, Hawa, Wakal, Hanarawak, Hanarawath, Hakar Yab, Amalah, Bashan, Wakaramal, Wabarak, Wabanawan, Amalah, verse 5, Haryam, Ra'aishawa, Mamawana, Mamanwa, Wahag, Salagi, Wahagaba'ai, Wath, Athama Gagwa, Wathasha'a, Ha'arataza, Mapanyawa, Wathabal, Wakal, Yeshabya, Baha, verse 6, Lapanya, Za'aimawa, Maya, Ya'aimawad, Wamya, Yakuwam, Salaki, Bamaka 1, Bamaka War, Salaki Apaya, Apawa, Salaki, Kamawath, Wathaka, Ka'ash, Waha Slaki Watazarium. Nathatazah Wa. Maman Wa, verse 7. Tawab Yahweh. Lama I Wazah. Bayawam. Tazarah. Wayada. Slaki Wayadai. Slaki. Kasaya. Bawa. So that's verses 1 through 7. In the Hebrew, we're going to read those same verses in the English, get a good understanding. So that's Nahum, first chapter. And we're going to read verses 1 through 7 in English. Somebody got that for me?
I got it. The book of Nahum, chapter 1 and verse 1. The burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum the Elkoshite.
All right, so now when this says a book, right, understand that the way that these prophecies work, it's not a book in the sense of like something like this. All right, the book of Nahum the Elkoshite, which we'll get that Elkoshite in just a second. This is talking about the specific prophecies that were attributed to Nahum and the scribes that wrote down this prophecy. All right, that's important to understand. Elkosh, that's why it calls him an Elkoshite. Elkosh was a province in northern Israel. So this is basically saying, it's kind of like saying the Phoenician. I'm Parak the Phoenician because I'm from Phoenix. He might be considered Ashkawar the Californian because he's from California. You understand? So that's the way that this thing is describing Nahum. They're saying he's an Elkoshite because he's from like the city or the province of Elkosh, which is in northern Israel. All right. And of course, it says the burden of Nineveh. It starts off with the burden of Nineveh. Who could tell me what Nineveh was? Can anybody tell me what Nineveh was? What's the importance or what it is at all? Nobody? No sweat. Nineveh was the capital of Assyria in the time of our Assyrian captivity. It's like the Washington, D.C. of America. That's what Nineveh is. All right. And so this is an extremely pivotal and important time in the history of Israel. And Nineveh was the like you see Washington, D.C. right now is full of blacks and Hispanics. The same way Nineveh was full of blacks and Hispanics at the time of the Assyrian captivity. You understand? So it's important to have this history because we have to understand the same way like you see a Captain Mashak or, you know, even when we was first getting started back on the East Coast in Baltimore and DC and things like that, we had our generals out there, our captains out there, waking up blacks and Hispanics in that place because that was a hellhole for blacks and Hispanics. What's the goddamn capital of the country? Washington, D.C. is the capital of the country, but blacks and Hispanics are extremely impoverished in those places. All right? I want y'all to make that comparison between Washington, D.C. and Nineveh. All right? So that's what Nineveh was. Nineveh was the capital of the Assyrian Empire. All right? We can keep going.
Verse 2. God is jealous, and the Lord revengeth. The Lord revengeth and is furious.
And he's what?
Furious.
And the Lord is furious. Like you think that the poverty that we dealing with is something that we're just upset about. And a lot of even fake Israelite groups get this misunderstood. They think the Lord takes pleasure in us being jammed up in America. They think the Lord takes pleasure in us being in these terrible conditions when the Lord hates to see it. Think about, I always say this, it's like I'm a broken record at this point, but I have to say it because I think people forget. The Lord is a father. No good father wants to see their son, even if it's a badass son. He don't want to see his son suffer. He tells his son not to do drugs, right? If his son goes out and does drugs, he's not going to be happy that, oh man, you see, he's strung out on the street. No, you understand? That father is going to hate that, and he's going to be sad and upset. He's going to be absolutely upset about the fact. What's up? Okay, no sweat. I'll handle it. Just 1 second, baby. All right. The Lord is going, a good father is going to be upset at the fact that his son is out in the streets. You understand? He's going to be upset about that. A good father doesn't want to see his son suffer, but a good father also knows that if I set these rules and you disobey these rules, I'm going to have to put you out of my house. I can't have a terrible son living in my house. You understand? Well, that's the same way the Lord works. That doesn't mean the Lord takes pleasure in that, because the scriptures just said what? The Lord revengeth and is furious. He's angry at the way that we've been treated. And this has been going on for thousands of years. You don't think that anger has built up in the Most High? That anger has built up in the Most High for thousands of years because we've been mistreated by everybody on the planet Earth. Every single person on this planet Earth. Every nation, every people group has mistreated Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right? So that's why the scriptures say the Lord is going to revenge. That's why we have to read this. We have to understand this. The Lord is going to give us the revenge. We don't have to be like the Black Panthers and go out and try to take revenge on our own. That's how brothers get killed. How the leader of the Black Panther Party got killed in his own home. To the government, justifiably. Of course, it was wrong, but to the government, they was able to justify it because these cats was going to Capitol Hill marching with goddamn AK-47s and AR-15s. You understand? So they walked into that brother's house and they put him to death on his own bed, which is evil as hell, but that just goes to show you. Of course, we don't glory in the death of any brother or sister, but it goes to show you if it's not of the Lord, it's not going to work. Same thing happened to the NFAC. Their leader fell flat on their face. You understand? Because the Lord is going to give us our revenge. Us having this is our revenge. Us having these classes is our revenge because they tried to take our culture away from us. You understand? They tried to take this away from us. I got a mitre on my head. He got a garment. I got a garment. Brothers and sisters in here wearing beautiful apparel that goes back to our ancient Israelite culture. They tried to take this away from us. This is our revenge. And the Lord is going to do us one even better because he sees us taking our revenge through the eyes of the Most High. Like the Lord sees what we're doing. This is a sacrifice. So because we're doing this, because we're sacrificing our time to be in this class, when we don't have to be, we could do whatever the hell we want. This is America. We could be getting high right now. We could be in a room, hotboxing a room right now if we wanted to. But we're here and the Lord sees that. And that's why the Lord says that he's going to give us our vengeance. We don't have to take it ourselves. All we got to do is provoke the Most High to do it. And that's us here right now. You understand? If you can finish that verse, Bible Kushah.
The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies.
Now, if you could hold for me Romans the 12th chapter. The Most High reserves his wrath for his enemies. Well, I want y'all to understand something. Y'all answer me this question. Have Blacks and Hispanics been utterly tortured in America? Is this place not hell for Blacks and Hispanics? It is, right? Think about the fact that we just read what we just read. He reserves his wrath for his enemies. This ain't even the Lord's wrath. This is just corrective action. He's punishing us. This ain't nothing. He's punishing his son. Think about what more he's willing to do for these damn devils that have put us in this position. He reserveth his wrath for his enemies. That's hardcore, man. The Lord has something special coming for these goddamn heathens. He got something special coming for them. We don't need to sit up here, you understand, and try to plot out how we can invade the Capitol like them damn white folks did because they felt like the government was jamming them up, which is so ridiculous in and of itself. You understand? We don't need to do that. We don't need to invade the Capitol.
Right.
We need to come to these classes. We need to go to camp. We need to do our food drives. We need to show the Lord that we are worthy of him saving us. Because what does he need to save the crackhead on the corner for? He's doing whatever he wants to do. You understand? Just like a father that sees his son out. You understand? When he told him what the right thing was and he still chose to do the wrong thing, he's not going to save him from that corner. Go be a goddamn crackhead. But when you turn your life around and you turn to the Most High, the Lord is going to see that. He sees you knocking back at his door and he says, welcome home, son. You understand? He sees that. He says, welcome home, daughter. You stop being a whore. He sees that. He says, you know what? You're worthy to come back in my home. But when you're the crackhead that knocks on his door like a Christian, when you're the crackhead that knock on his door for $10 so you could buy another crack rock, he's going to turn you away. Get the hell out of my house. But when you knock on his door and say, Pops, I apologize for everything that I've done. You were right. I should have listened to you. I'm ready to come back and be a good son. He's going to listen to you. And he's going to avenge your enemies. You understand? Let's get Romans 12 and 19.
Book of Romans chapter 12 and verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
This is Paul. He said, do what?
Avenge not yourselves.
Paul said, don't avenge yourself. Like, once again, we could be the type of people. We can be animals. And if you understand the brothers in the UPK, we can be angry and sin. You understand? We can do terrible things. It's in our power to do a lot of things. But because we serve God and we understand this Bible, we don't avenge ourselves. You understand? Like they tried to damn near, I want to tell you something about this Passover that we just went to. They tried to lock us out of the Passover. They tried to say, no, y'all can't come. Y'all are an extremist group. They like, it was in the news and everything. They were like, no, y'all can't have, that's like the KKK. Y'all can't have them come into the, so, but of course the Lord was with us and we were able to have our Passover. Now, what we said is if they don't allow us to have the Passover in that building, we'll have it at the street, in the middle of the street. We'll have it wherever. It doesn't matter. We'll do it. Now, we have the power to go and break into that convention center and hold our Passover with 1,000 police officers outside. You understand? We have the capacity to do that. We can do that. We are insane in here. You understand? But of course, it's not our job to do that. It's not our job to do, to break the laws of America because of our anger of their oppression. They were trying to oppress us. They were trying to oppress us. And they were trying to stop. That's dangerous. They were trying to stop us from having our Passover.
Right.
We could be angry enough to be like, you know what? I'm going to break all the windows on this goddamn convention center. And we're going to jump in there and have our, we're going to have our Passover. You understand? We could do that if we wanted to. We got the manpower to do it. You understand? I heard Yeshai, head priest Yeshai one time say he fought off like 300 police officers at one time. It's not just him. It's like him and like he brought out a camp back in the 90s. He fought off like 300 police officers, pulling brothers out of the squad cars and everything. We could do that. You understand? My point is, Paul tells us, this is wisdom. And it's the same thing you find throughout the Bible. Don't avenge yourself, man, because there's a lot of things you could do with the power that we have in the ISUPK. We got manpower. We got the Lord with us. There's a lot of things that we could do, but we don't avenge ourselves. You understand? I'm gonna show y'all some examples in just a second, but let's keep reading that. Focus shop.
Go on.
Middle of verse 2. Verse 19 in Romans 12.
But rather give place unto wrath.
Right, you got to give place unto wrath. Listen. Once again, Ecclesiastes 7:7 says, oppression maketh the wise man mad. You're going to be mad in this place. You're going to be upset. And the mad in that verse, in Ecclesiastes 7:7, that's actually talking about it makes you go crazy. Like mad, like you ever said, you've gone mad? Y'all probably ain't said. That's like more like a Shamgar thing, like a Captain Parash thing. You know, that's more like a UK thing. You've gone mad. But that's really what that verse is talking about. It's like it'll make you go. Oppression will make you crazy. You understand? It'll turn you from wise to crazy. You understand? Because it'll make you irrational. That's why brothers is killing each other in the streets. You understand? Because this oppression has caused us to lose all of the logic in our brain, all of the love that we have for one another. It's eliminated by way of this oppression. So it's easy for you to take your wrath out on everything in this place. It's easy. But Paul is a very wise man. And he said, give place unto wrath. Like, I can go back to Ecclesiastes again. The scriptures say in the book of Ecclesiastes, I believe it's the first chapter, that says there's a time to hate, there's a time to love, there's a time to kill, and there's a time to seek peace. There's a time and a place for everything, which is black people understand that, but they don't apply it. You understand? There's a time for everything. Paul, with his wisdom, said, give place unto wrath. All right, let's keep going.
For it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord.
Right, I will repay. Like, listen, vengeance belongs to God. When you go to Capitol Hill and you start, upping your straps on them and, you want to do all of these types of things, you're robbing God of the vengeance that he wants. Like, think about it. All right, some of us is from the streets. Some of us may not be. I don't know if y'all ever heard. That's my get back. Like, I have a problem with somebody, right? And then somebody else go and deal with my problem. I'm going to be upset because I wanted the blood. I wanted the guy just goddamn eyes out. I wanted to draw blood from this man because that's my get back. I want my revenge on that man. But you took that from me when you went and dealt with him. Well, that's the way the Lord looks at this thing. He doesn't want, you think the Lord is not mad at our oppressor? He's angry with our oppressor. Our oppressor is the bully up the block that keeps torturing his son. The Lord wants his revenge. He don't want you to go. Imagine your son. Some old man is, messing with your son. You want that revenge. You want to go and put that man to death. That's what the Lord wants. The Lord wants his revenge. He wants the revenge. He don't want you to do it yourself. And that's why the scriptures say, vengeance is mine. There's a certain, and this is why the Lord is a man of war, like Exodus 15:3 says. There's a certain feeling and almost a feeling of like reward when you get your vengeance on somebody that absolutely deserves it. Well, the Lord wants that feeling. He wants that revenge. The Lord hates the fact that these oppressors have been doing these types of things to us. All of the things that we go back into the history.
Right.
Like, these people they have committed egregious acts against the children of Israel. The Lord wants his revenge. That's why it says that. You understand? Let's go back to Nahum real quick. I just want to read a little bit more in there. And I got another precept I wanted to pull out because you got to understand. The Lord, do you think the Lord don't understand how angry y'all are at this oppression? The fact that every time I pick up this phone, I see another brother being killed by a devil. Y'all heard about that brother? Do y'all know the brother's name who got murdered on that subway by a devil? It was the brother was a Michael Jackson impersonator. Right. Do you know his name? You don't know his name? Whatever the brother's name is, man, may the brother rise in great power. The brother was murdered. Now this brother. Oh, you said shit. Okay, no sweat. You take her and just help her out a little bit. All right. The brother was on a subway. All right, and he has mental health issues. All right, he was once like a really good, like I think Michael Jackson impersonator, right? But he ended up having like some mental health issues, and he was on the subway. In I believe it was New York, and he was asking people for money. Like everybody does in New York. It's like a normal thing in New York, right? It's a normal thing everywhere. America's the land of, homelessness. You understand? So anyway,
his name was Jordan Neely.
Jordan Neely,
and the Edomite that took his life was Daniel Penny.
Daniel Penny. Yeah, may that bastard be my slave in the kingdom of heaven. I'm gonna put that bastard to work. All right. Now, you said Jordan Neely?
Jordan Neely.
No, Jordan Neely. Jordan Neely was a man that was a Michael Jackson impersonator. He, a lot of times people make a lot of money, especially in places like New York, and like Times Square and things like that. They can be, Michael Jackson impersonators. They can juggle. That's a million things that they do. Well, he was one of those guys, right? He got, a little sick, mental illness. And he was on a subway one day and he was asking people for money. He was broke. And some Edomite got offended that he asked him for money. All right. And this Edomite proceeded to choke this brother out for 15 minutes straight. And I mean, when I tell you the anger, I can't even talk about it. I want to curse and yell. This brother was choked out for 15, like a count of 15 minutes. Straight in a full chokehold by this goddamn devil. You understand? These people hate you, and the Lord sees it. Like, and the fact that there's video of this, I'd play it if I had the TV hooked up. Like that, he choked him out for 15 minutes straight out of pure hatred. Somebody, Razan, give me Ezekiel 35:5. Bible Kasha. Let me get that real quick. I wasn't even gonna bring this scripture. I want y'all to know something about these people, man. It kills me and pains me that people do not see this. These people hate your guts. They hate that you even breathe. They hate that they made you poor. You understand? They hate that they redlined you into the ghetto. They hate everything about you. And there's nothing you could do about it. Like brothers and sisters try to win their goddamn love over. When you get married to a white woman, you're trying to win a white woman over just for that woman to call you a nigger in an argument. You understand? Just for you women, you black women that want to, you know, go up a scale and deal with a white man, just for that man to murder you. You understand? Which happens so many times in these so-called interracial marriages. Give me that, Baba Kushar.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35, verse 5.
Read that.
Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Now, the thou there is, if you read the first verse, it's talking about Mount Seir or Edom or Esau, which is our oppressor, the white man. Thou, meaning you white people, have a goddamn perpetual hatred. What does perpetual mean? Perpetual means everlasting. There's nothing you can do to gain white people's love. They can pretend all day. You know, they're the deceiver. We call them the devil. They're deceivers. They can make you feel like they love you. You understand? But me, I understand something that is a lot deeper than the surface. That love is fake, man. They have a real perpetual hatred for us. Something that cannot be, it's an illness that cannot be cured. It's a cancer that cannot be cured. There's nothing you can do to stop these people from hating you. And when y'all look at that video, I mean, how many times do you got to see it? They did it. What's the brother that was selling cigarettes in front of that place and they killed him? Eric Garner, right? They choked him to death, right? Did they not choke George Floyd to death? Did they not choke the brother Jordan Neely to death? They do it in front of your face and you still find reason to love them. Stop. Like the Lord is trying to show you. How many times does the Lord have to tell you that these people hate you? He wrote it in the Bible that you claim to read. But now instead of the Bible, let's say you don't even believe in the Bible. Look on the goddamn news, man. These people are killing you day in and day out. They hate you. They're showing their hatred for you. They're showing you that hatred. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Just at the beginning of this month, May, this car brother in Texas was murdered, was shot dead by his white neighbor. Because
is that new? See how I asked if that's new? I don't even, because there's another instance that happened like a month or two ago with somebody else shooting at like a 7-year-old kid. 7-year-old kid. Yes, these people have a hatred. Go ahead, Slack.
Yeah, no, so this guy brother have moved to this place in Texas. The way he can run a horse ranch. And it was a better spot for him to have his ranch. His white neighbor was harassing him for 2 years since he moved in there, and finally shot him because he says Latinos shouldn't be living where white people live at.
Bro, how many times is the Lord going to show you that? Like even here in Scottsdale, Arizona, you understand? A brother was, hey baby, I need you to go sit down. You understand me? Okay, go sit down. I understand. I got you, baby. I understand. Even out here, there was a brother that was doing some sort of what do you call those? Vlog. He was doing like a vlog, right? And he goes into this place. A goddamn Chinese man, Asian, I'm all right, goes and walks in front of him and says, "Hey, you can't be out here." He's like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "This is no nigger land." A Chinese person. A goddamn immigrant himself. Y'all have to understand something. I'm going to calm down. Y'all have to understand something. None of these people love you. It always shows. It always shows. I have seen personally, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. I grew up seeing a 20-year marriage between a white woman and a black man. And I've seen that white woman call that black man a nigger every time she got upset. Y'all understand? These are people that claim they love each other. These other nations don't love you. They will pretend they love you, but they are going to kill you. Tell y'all. I'm trying to put y'all on game. There was another instance, right? I didn't even want to get into all this, but I'm going to do it. There was another instance that we saw on social media. There was a sister that went to a girls' night out, and they went back home. It was like a sleepover type of thing. And she went to it was a group of Edomites, like 8 or 9 Edomites, a bunch of them. And she went over to a sleepover. I don't know if y'all heard about this story. And there's a picture, all right, that they took before this woman eventually was killed. But I'll get to that in a second. There's a picture that she took where she's in the picture. Y'all know how body language, like y'all ever heard like body language tells you everything? There's a picture where she's like really happy and smiling, and everybody else is happy, except let's say this is the sister. Everybody's leaning away from her like this, right? Come to find out the next morning, this woman was pushed off of the second-story balcony and murdered. And nobody seems to know how it happened. Come to find out is because they hated that woman, because, of course, she was not like them. They're different. Let these people love each other. They give the one thing that Captain Tazaryak said, which is just the perfect way to say it. They have enough love for themselves. They love each other enough, and all the other nations love them enough. Let's love one another. Let's love blacks and Hispanics. Let's not give them any of our love. Don't have white friends. You understand? Don't give them any of the value that you have to offer. The scriptures say that we're like gold on this earth, but we have been ground into powder and made to think that we're nothing. You understand? So we have to make sure that we love each other enough to say, I'm not going to give my love to nobody else. Right? And that's the important thing about what we're reading. So let's get back into it, right? I might have zoomed in on this thing. Let's go to, okay. Let's go to Nehemiah, the 9th chapter. Let's go to Nehemiah 9. I'm going to read the rest of this verse because I wanted to bring something out, right? So Nahum 1 and 3 says, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and he will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord is not going to give these devils a pass. Hey, that's crazy. That brother looks fresh. Get that brother a hand. This is the UPK. We dress well in here, all right? So the Lord will not at all acquit the wicked. You understand? The Lord is not going to give these devils a pass, man. He's not going to give them a pass. The Lord is going to make sure that they pay and suffer for all of the things that they've done. I hate to break the news to y'all. You understand? If we keep reading, it says the Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and the storm, because we know all across the Bible, the Lord has said that he's going to come back with a whirlwind and with his chariots like a fuel of fire. You understand? The Lord is going to put these people to death, and he's angry. Imagine how much anger has been building up in the Most High God. It says, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. What's the significance of that? The clouds are as the dust of his feet. The Lord can do whatever he wants. The earth is his footstool. Imagine if I got my feet kicked up on this chair right here. I mean, this chair is nothing to me. I can pick it up, throw it away. I can do whatever I want with it because it's my footstool. The earth is the Lord's footstool. He can do whatever he wants with this place. He could kill us all if he wanted to. You understand? But the Lord is not going to acquit the wicked. He's talking about a specific group of people that he does not enjoy. But he loves his sons. He loves his daughters. Right? So let's get Nehemiah the 9th chapter. And real quick, if I could, when I say the Lord is not going to acquit the wicked are the other nations. It's not talking about us. It's talking about the wicked that are the other nations. But the Lord is willing to pardon us. He's willing to forgive us. He's not willing to forgive the other nations. I'm going to show y'all that. Let's get Nehemiah the 9th chapter and the 16th verse.
The book of Nehemiah, the 9th chapter. What verse?
16, sir.
And verse 16. But they and our fathers dealt proudly and hardened their necks and hearkened not to thy commandments.
And this is of course a prayer to the Most High by Nehemiah. He's saying that our forefathers have always, which we can read this in the Bible. That's why it's in our records. We can read it. Our forefathers have been continuously evil toward the Most High. The Most High is our Father, and we have been terrible sons and daughters. Terrible. And if all of us take a second and look back in our lives in here, we have disserviced our Father day in and day out. Nehemiah 9 and 16. We have done a terrible and evil disservice to our Father. Been terrible kids, right? Now remember that. We're reading a prayer that Nehemiah made to the Most High, right? Keep going.
Verse 16.
17, slug.
Verse 17. And refused to obey. Neither were mindful of thy wonders that thou didst among them.
Neither were mindful of what?
Neither were mindful of the wonders thy wonders that thou didst among them.
That the Most High did. Do y'all not know that the same people that saw the Most High split the damn Red Sea in half and walked through that Red Sea, them same cats are the ones that made that golden calf and served the idol.
Right.
Saw the idol, saw that miracle right in front of their face. And the same cast that saw that, same cast that saw the staff turn into a serpent, same cast that saw the water turn into blood, the same cast that saw all of the miracles that the Most High did in the Exodus of Egypt are the same ones that made an idol and said, this God is not our God. Can y'all believe that? Like, we don't even see that type of stuff today. When have y'all seen, when have y'all seen the water be split for us to be exiting out of America? When have y'all seen that? When have y'all seen a staff turn into a serpent? Y'all haven't seen that. Well, these cats saw all of that. We don't even understand what that means. You understand? They saw all of that, and they still ignored those wonders, because when times got bad, when they didn't have food, when Moses was on that mountain for 2 days too long, Moses was on that mountain for 40 days. They was tired of waiting around. They said, Moses didn't let us out here to die. You understand? They got impatient, which is what so many people do in the truth, which is why people leave the truth, because they get impatient. Well, them brothers and sisters got impatient, and they decided they were going to leave the truth and go into idolatry. That's our forefathers. Some of those people that was in that wilderness is us. You understand? Some of those people is us. This is the people that we're talking about. I want y'all to remember that as we continue to read on. You got it, sir.
But hardened their necks, and in their rebellion appointed a captain to return to their bondage.
Remember, they wanted to go back to Egypt. Imagine us leaving America, where we have to slave away for paycheck to paycheck, where we have to live a life where we see every time we open up these phones or turn on the news, we see another black man or woman being murdered. You understand? Imagine leaving this place and wanting to come back. Leaving this place to go build something greater, and then wanting to come back because times got a little bit hard. Like, you forget what your life was like in Egypt. Keep going.
But thou art a God ready to pardon.
Now, this is the prayer. And this is the truth. Thou art a God ready to pardon. This is ridiculous. This is why I say the Most High is a Father. Now, after everything we just read, that sounds like almost unforgivable. You understand? That sounds like you wouldn't forgive somebody that you went, to the ends of the earth for, and they just left you. Most people wouldn't forgive a person like that, but the Lord is a God that's ready to pardon. Keep going.
Gracious and merciful.
Gracious and merciful. One thing about that mercy of God, I always pray. When I pray, every single time I pray, I always pray for the Lord to have mercy on me. Brothers and sisters be forgetting about that sometimes. The Lord can have mercy on you. You got to pray for that thing, man. I pray for that all the time. Because when we read about these accounts, the Lord has never given. This is a lesson for brothers and sisters. The Lord has never given up on his children. Never. He's here with us today, 4,000 years after what we're talking about when brothers was trying to lead the truth because of Moses being on the mountain too long, because they was hungry. They didn't have the right type of food. Like, we tried to leave the Lord, but the Lord never tried to leave us. You understand? So that's why I always pray. Just a side note, I got a class that I teach on that too, with the Lord's mercy. We always should pray for the Lord's mercy on us, because he doesn't have to have it. He doesn't have to have mercy on us. You understand? But let's keep reading.
Slow to anger, and of great kindness, and forsooketh them not.
Right, and forsooketh them not. To forsake something means to leave it. The Lord never left the children of Israel, even when we were at our worst. You understand? That is important. That's important. When you understand what you got to understand, like, if you're going to serve God, you have to understand what kind of God that you serve. This God did not leave us. We left him. You understand? We got impatient. The scriptures say that you have to endure to the end to be saved. And that's what we base our entire lives around. You understand? We are enduring to the end. Let's get back. Matter of fact, let me get another precept. Let me get Zechariah, the 2nd chapter. I'm going to read something real quick. Zechariah 2:7. Let me see something real quick. Zechariah 2:7.
Book of Zechariah, chapter 2 and verse 7. Deliver thyself, O Zion, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon.
That dwellest with who?
The daughter of Babylon.
All right, now who could tell me what timeline that Zechariah lived in? Anybody tell me that? Anybody? I'll give it to y'all. He lived, of course, in the time of the Babylonian captivity, which was, 3,000 years ago, damn near? Now, remember, in the book of Revelation, the scriptures call America the daughter of Babylon. All right? the scriptures work in similitudes, right? Meaning what was happening then. Remember, if you go into the book of Ecclesiastes, it says there's nothing new under the sun. What was then is now. You understand? It's the same thing. We're in a cycle. This is really how the Bible works, and it's how life works. So Zechariah is prophesying through the word of the Most High, saying, "Deliver thyself, O Zion," talking about the children of Israel, "that dwellest in the daughter of Babylon." We're going to take this scripture, even though it was written 3,000 years ago, and we're going to apply it to now. All right, let's keep going.
Verse 8, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that toucheth you toucheth the apple of his eye.
That is a beautiful thing to know, that the Most High looks at us as the apple of his eye. Nobody can touch his children. You understand? My kids can be bad sometimes. That don't mean that you can touch them. All right? Look at her. She jammed up right now. You understand? You can't touch that girl. I'll put you to death over that girl. Anybody. Don't care who it is. You understand? Because I love my daughter. I love my sons. You understand? Well, the Lord is the same way. You touch my children, you touching the apple of my eye, the thing that makes my heart beat. The Lord loves us. The Lord has given the earth for us, a specific group of people, us. You can't touch us. You understand? Let's keep going.
Verse 9, for behold, I will shake my hand upon them, and they shall be a spoil to their servants. And ye shall know that the Lord of hosts hath sent me.
If you could give me Isaiah the 14th chapter, remember, we're talking about revenge. I got it. We're talking about revenge. You understand? Like this is the true revenge. The revenge that we're gonna get is of the Lord, and it's something that you can't do yourself. You're not able to subdue these nations yourself. You can't. You understand? People have tried. The Black Panther Party tried. The Not Effing Around Coalition have tried. It's impossible. You have to have the Lord on your side. And for the Lord to be on your side means that you have to do what he says. You keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the Lord said, wait on me patiently. You can't lose your patience like all these other cats have done. All right, let's get Isaiah 14 and 1.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
He will have mercy on who?
On Jacob.
The Lord is going to have mercy on us. I bring this out all the time because it doesn't seem like the Lord is having mercy on black people. Once again, Jordan Neely was just murdered. One thing I didn't even touch on that was the fact that he was choked out for 15 minutes straight and they got it on video and nobody did a damn thing about it.
Right.
Go tell your brother, baby. I want to let y'all know something. I want to let y'all know something. I'm just going to tell y'all the truth. We in the ISUPK do not condone inciting violence. We don't. But if you ever see a brother being unrighteously murdered by a white man, you better go stop that thing, man. You better do something about it. Don't be a goddamn coward like the rest of them cats that was on there. Listen, I saw that video and I saw a bunch of damn right, man. I saw a bunch of cowards, man. I saw a bunch of cowards that stood and filmed and watched this man get murdered, choked out for 15 seconds, man. You understand? And it's these cats are just watching. They just don't know what to do. You understand? Like, bro, like, listen, I don't even know what to say. We gotta do better than this. You understand? Go ahead, sis.
Was this the one where the brother said he asked for something to eat?
Yes. Yeah, he was asking for like food or like money or something like that. And the white man, I think he asked him a couple times and he didn't like that he was asking him so much, so he just started choking him out. The brother did not get belligerent or he didn't try to get violent, but that white man, you know, they are violent people. So he got to choking that man out and he choked. Yeah, well, he did it like this. He had him in a full like chokehold. Yeah, you choked him out for 15 minutes. Even us in the UPK, we don't teach that even if you have to, we don't teach that you should choke somebody until they die. Just, let them, choke them till they pass out and call the authorities. This man didn't do that.
I believe he was an Army veteran, right?
I think so.
So what happened also was that they're not telling you while he was choking him out, there was another I don't know if he was an Edomite or what nationality he was, but he was a part of the Army also, and he never done the chokehold that he was doing, but he knew what it was, and that type of chokehold can put someone to death. And what he noticed is that the brother started to defecate on himself, and that's a sign that he's either dying or he's dead.
Right.
So the dude told him, "You don't have to catch a murder case, right?" Because he knew where it was going, and that didn't hold him back from letting him go. He just kept choking him. See what I'm saying? So it was definitely intentional. He wanted to kill that brother.
And that just goes toward the point that we understand that these people, there is no love in their heart for you, man. Once again, I could just be upset and angry and yell about this thing, but of course, because of the discipline in the ISUPK, the Commander in Hana, we know what we have to do. We have to continue holding these classes. We have to continue going out and seeking our brothers out of the dead. You understand? And just continuing to raise up brothers righteously. And the Lord is going to be on our side, man. But it's just, just at the same time, you do have to understand that we are at a war. You understand? We are at war with these people. Right. It's a spiritual war. We're not going out and taking arms up against them. It's a spiritual war. These people absolutely hate us, and they're practicing what's called guerrilla warfare. Anybody know what guerrilla warfare is? Y'all know what that is? Razan, you know what guerrilla warfare is?
It's basically kind of a hiding tactic. So you're not up front before you attack.
Guerrilla warfare in the physical looks like this. Guerrilla warfare looks like you're hiding in the bushes, you're covering all of your tracks so that where your enemy cannot find you. All right, and then you're just gonna pop up out on them, and you're gonna surprise them, and that's an easy way to kill people. That's the guerrilla warfare started in Vietnam. Before that, I don't know if y'all have seen like in history books or like in things like that where wars used to be, they would just line up and they would run at each other.
They were dumb.
They were stupid as hell, right?
They were dumb.
Right.
Yeah.
Even like in the Revolutionary War, right, where they would have lines of people and they would have them damn muskets where you got to pack them down and pack the gunpowder down.
They're standing there looking at him trying to pack it up.
Look, you have to do this.
You could just run over there.
Right, exactly.
Get that dude.
So that's how wars used to be fought. Even in times of like the Spartans and things like that, they would basically set a meeting up and then have their swords and they would just run at each other, and whoever has the most bodies at the end wins. So,
and if I could, the guerrilla warfare also actually comes from the Native Americans.
Right.
The oppressor learned that from the Native Americans. When they would fight them, the Native Americans would hide in trees. They would set traps. They would cover their tracks, and that's why the Native Americans were way better at war than the oppressor. Which is now why he does it.
Right.
Before that, they were just fighting
like idiots.
Yeah.
So that's like so they started to adopt that after the Vietnamese War, when that's of course everybody knows that's the one war for sure that America lost. They lost that war in Vietnam. It was terrible. The Vietnamese were using guerrilla warfare, and now, like Officer Oscar Ward said, now America uses that all the time. They use it in their Operation Desert Storm. They use it in Iraq today. They use it all over the place. That's what they use now, because we are smarter than them. Now, this is what they're using in the spirit against us. They're using guerrilla warfare against us. Why do you think Joe Biden wanted the black vote? Because of course we have a lot of power in America. When I say power, I'm not talking about we're not the governors. You understand? But our dollar is more important than damn near any other race, right? Blacks and Hispanics make up the economy of America. We are extremely pivotal to this country. So what they do is they make us believe that they love us, and then really they do everything to keep us down. Like for instance, Barack Obama. Everybody thought was a black man. He's actually a Hamite. He's a different nation than the so-called Negro, right? But we all thought he was black. We all thought he was the same people. Did he not get the vote of black Americans because we wanted a black president?
Right.
Absolutely. What did he do for black people? Nothing. You know what he did? He did everything for gay people. Y'all understand that he was the one that legalized. When I say legal, I mean made it absolutely 100% legal for gay people to marry each other, for same-sex marriage.
Right.
He didn't do anything from his city, which is Chicago. Y'all understand, it takes nothing to legislate the crime that's going on in Chicago. There's so many things that he could have done, that his wife could have done. He didn't do anything from the city that he came from, which is Chicago. #1 death rate in America. He didn't do anything for that, but he did everything for gay people. Now, just for YouTube purposes, I ain't saying this to slander gay people. That's not what I'm doing. Just letting y'all know that these people don't give a damn about you. Look at Joe Biden. What has Joe Biden said? If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Whoa, you understand? He said it. Go ahead.
One thing about Joe Biden, he was one of those people that led the vote for the 3 strike rule back in the 90s.
Right. Which is why so many of our brothers are incarcerated today. Some of them for life, because that 3 strike rule, if anybody doesn't understand what that 3 strike rule is, help them out a little bit. For anybody that doesn't understand what that 3 strike rule is, that means you go, let's say you got an assault charge. You go to jail for that. All right. Then you got a theft charge, petty theft or something like that. You steal from a store or something like that.
Right.
All right. That's your second strike. Your third strike, you could take a piece of gum from a convenience store and you will go to jail for 25 years. Because you can only get 3 strikes. That law, Biden, of course, like the brother said, was integral to. He created that law along with other legislators, right? That law was created because they were trying to, specifically for the West Coast of America, they were trying to legislate black people, because it was black people that was, they would go pull them over for, a light being, tail light being out or something like that. And the same Joe Biden that we're talking about was a part of that, was also a part of the war on drugs, which of course, what was that? I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, that war on drugs was specifically targeted towards black people. How do I know? Because black people, of course, were the most affected. But then on top of that, white people had that heroin epidemic. They called it an epidemic, like it was some sort of sickness. And they even opened up clinics. What are they called? Come on now, you gotta help me out. I'm playing. But they opened up these clinics where you could go get high legally, because they were trying to help these people that had a heroin problem. But as soon as black people got on crack cocaine, they called it the war on drugs and locked them all up. That's why, brother, y'all understand, brothers was not in their families' lives because of things like that, which of course I could teach a whole damn class on it. It spirals down into the black family being affected. You understand? It's all types of things. My point is, these people are playing guerrilla warfare on us. That's the warfare spiritually that they're dealing with us. Understand? Hey, they ain't got to sit down. They just got to, they good. There's no yelling. That's the type of warfare that they got with us. They are absolutely playing guerrilla warfare against us. We don't see it coming. The war on drugs to everybody else seems like, they just want to get rid of the drug problem.
Right.
But if you actually take a look at it, they didn't want to get rid of the drug problem when it was heroin and white people. They wanted to help them.
Also, if I may,
sir, of course.
Intervene a bit. Also, with this fentanyl epidemic, they're trying to. The government is trying to blame the cartels,
right?
They're trying to blame them and say that they're the main reason why fentanyl is rampant in the state in America. You understand? When the cartels are saying we have nothing to do with it, we don't even create it. We don't have any factories where we make it.
Right.
We're being what's the word?
Scapegoated.
We're being scapegoated. They're saying they're not doing it. So it's really, it wouldn't be a surprise to find out later on that the U.S., the same way they put crack cocaine in brothers' neighborhoods and all the other drugs, they're putting the drugs in here too, because they make money off of drugs. They're the biggest drug dealers on the planet, the U.S. government. And also China. China's involved some way, somehow. I heard China's involved with that whole fentanyl thing.
Damn.
You understand? So, they just, like you were saying, they're just destroying us every day, getting rich off of us. And with that whole LGBTQ movement, especially right now, they're also supporting the heavy right now, not because they care about their rights. The government doesn't give a damn about their rights.
Right.
You understand? They just know that if they push them and support them, they're going to get more money from them. Because they're the ones who need rights and this and that, so they pass all these rights for them. And now they're going to make more money off of them.
Right.
It's not about them. They support their lifestyle. They're just making money off of them.
Right.
You understand?
Ah. Good.
What's crazy that on the news they said LGBTQ people, they're going so crazy that they actually quit the Q like the Q, you know the Q.
Oh, they dropped the Q from the alphabet?
Nah, they there's another program in the LGBTQ one, and they just dropped it because they want to be independent.
Like what you saying? Like you saying they trying to be separate from the LGBTQ?
No, they like the LGBTQ. There's two programs. There's the one where there's gay and transgender, and there's the other one where they just like dress like girls or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so they dropped the other one. So now they're trying to drop the other one.
Right.
And they try to be independent.
So they're trying to further expand the whole gay movement type of thing, and have separate little breakoffs and things like that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this play, and it's of course it's often supported by America because America, once again, like he brought it out heavy. You understand? America is run off of money, and they are absolutely supporting these people. And anybody can get support except for blacks and Hispanics. Like they didn't have movements like this, when the so-called Mexicans of the tribe of Issachar was stuck at the border with their families being ripped away from their arms. They didn't have this type of support. You understand? Like they don't have this type of support for your Jordan Neelys or your George Floyds. They don't have that type. We don't get that type of support, but they love these transsexuals and homosexuals because for one, they can make money off of them. They're already making enough money off of us. We give them all our money anyway. You understand? So they can continue to treat us like garbage and trash and, continuously because we're so damn dumb, we'll just give them all of our money anyway. You understand? I got a class that I teach, right? That's I've taught it, I think only once. I'm gonna teach it again soon. And the class is titled "Everything is Our Oppressor's Fault." And when I say that, I'm being very literal. Everything that is a problem in Black and Hispanic communities is because of our oppressor. None of it is self-inflicted. Black on black crime, even the cartel crime, the cartel that's going on with I see so many people get beheaded. It's ridiculous. Even that is not our fault. I'm going to explain why. I'll explain why quickly. Right? The oppression that our oppressor has put us under and subjugated us to, Ecclesiastes 7:7, I always go back to that, oppression maketh the wise man mad. They have put us in the perfect condition like lab rats. I don't know if I bring this out too, right? There's a scientific experiment that our oppressor has put like lab rats under,
right?
Where they pit them against each other, but without them knowing. They make the rats believe that they hate each other,
right?
But really, it's because of the conditions that they put them in,
right?
So they would put one rat over here. They'd be separate. One rat over here, one rat over here, and they'd be in this hot. They would like turn the heat up like crazy high for like hours at a time, right?
Right.
And then they turn it down, and then they feed them crazy like different types of food that I'm not a scientist, but it's some sort of food that makes them like extremely allergic, right? And so they just make them, it feels like they're living in hell all day. Then they bring them together and they put them in one containment together, right? And they continue those same circumstances. They keep it hot in there. It's just miserable for them rats to live together. And then the rats always kill each other. That's a science experiment that you can look up right now that our oppressor they've done that. But they've also done it with blacks and Hispanics. They take us and they redline us out of the nice neighborhoods. There was a time, my rib posted this video a long time ago. It was about redlining, right? There was a time when black people were flourishing and we had enough money to live in these nice homes. But we could not get loans from the bank to go live in these nice homes. So this is what happened. The white people that were allowed to live in those nice homes, they got the loans and everything. I mean, it was for dirt cheap too. At the time, it was like $30,000, which today is like buying a house for $90,000. You can't. That's like impossible, right? It was like $30,000, right? Sometimes even cheaper. And the white people that would get those homes would flourish. I mean, they would live in those homes, have the good jobs, and then they would pass those homes on down to their children. And so now their children, this is what we call generational wealth. And so now their children had a beautiful place to live. Now they don't have to struggle living in an apartment or making payments on a home or anything because they got it passed down from their parents. Now the black and Hispanic people that they denied from having those homes had to live in what you call today as your projects. They had to go to these project buildings that the only place the bank would allow you to live in was those project buildings. So now you're living on top of each other. You're living in a 600 square foot home with 5 kids. You understand? Whereas if you had lived in those homes that the white people got, you got 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms. Everybody can live comfortably. We love each other, all of that. But now we're forced to be in these project buildings. And we're on top of other people that are forced to be in these project buildings. We're talking about 10, 12 stories high. And a bunch of people that just got denied, to be able to live comfortable. Now they got to live on top of each other. So everybody's just upset. Of course, we live in these small living spaces. And that's, of course, when we go into the redlining, that's one of the effects of redlining. But then on top of that, they dropping drugs in these same communities. So now the same people that are now too poor to be able to afford anything better, now they pick up the drugs. Now they're taking the drugs, they're selling the drugs. That's how the drugs get into the community. And I could talk about it. Like I said, I got a whole class that I teach on this. The point is, all the problems in Black and Hispanic communities come from our oppressor. Everything. And so to reel it back in and talk about what the point is, that's the guerrilla warfare. They make us seem like they're doing things for us. That's where your civil rights movement comes from. You understand? Your civil rights movement was employed to make everybody just, think that, white people love Black people. We can all get along. You understand? They champion Rodney King, who said what? Why can't we all just get along? They champion him. Well, that's not the spirit that we should be in. We should know that these people are our enemy. Razan, pull for me Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. I believe it's the 11th chapter. The Never Trust Your Enemy. Is that the 10th or 11th chapter? I think it's 11. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha. I believe it's the 10th chapter.
Yeah, it's the 10th chapter. 10 and 5.
I think. Let me see. Hold on. I think it's like 10 and. Let me see real quick. I just want to read this real quick because we're gonna close out in a minute. The physician.
And I want to bring something out too, man. Like with that brother who was killed on the train, and you have the brother that he brought out, the Hispanic family that was being stalked by their neighbor, and eventually the man killed the father of that Hispanic family because he said they don't deserve to be here because they're what do you say? They're because they're Mexican.
Right.
All these things that happen to us is definitely done because these people we're not meant to be with these people.
Right.
You understand? You have Martin Luther King who came and said we need to unite, we need to come together. We should be together, we should share the same bars, share the same bathrooms, blah blah blah. That was the wrong thing to do. You understand? He was not a real man of God because God says not to join with these other nations.
That's right.
Not to have kids with their women. We're not supposed to be. We're not meant to live together, to be around each other. And because of that, now so-called Black African Americans suffer under the oppressor. Same thing with Hispanics. We suffer under them too because we want to come over here and try to unite with them.
Right.
You understand? So we need to understand that us voting, us trying to join America and be a part of this place is never going to work. It's not going to work. You understand? Us trying to be Americans is not going to work. And the only thing that can save us out of this place, out of oppression, is returning to the Most High God.
That's right.
You understand? Like the brother was saying, we can't come together and get weapons and try to take vengeance. It's not going to work. You're not going to have justice. We're not going to have justice. We're not going to be able to win and take the credit for it. The Most High wants to take the credit for us overcoming our enemies and winning and getting the victory. So what we need to do is come back to the Most High, come back to His laws and His commandments. You understand? Raise families.
Right.
Families. Parents need to stay together, raise their children. You understand? We need to teach our children and not join to society. We gotta be closed-minded to the laws and the commandments of our God. Because if we take weapons and go fight the enemy, what's the point if our children are still on drugs?
Right.
You understand? If our daughters are still being raised to be promiscuous women and et cetera, right? So it's definitely, man, that this truth is definitely the most important thing that we have. The Most High is the most important thing we have, man. And thank the Most High for Commander Jenny Hunt and the ISUPK,
That's
man.
right.
And every brother and sister in here who's doing the work to raise this nation, man.
That's right.
You know
Yeah, that's heavy, man, and that's the point, man. Really, that's all we trying to do, man. We're just trying to raise Israel back to where we were. You know, like white people make fun of us when we talk, right? Because they like they like, oh, we was kings. Like they say that's what we talking about. Like, no, it ain't even like that. But we were absolutely on top. We were a nation that could not be messed with. You understand?
Right.
Hey, baby, you gotta go over there, all right? Go over there. What's up, baby? Okay, I got you. Give me some time, all right? Like we're a nation that the Lord chose. So when the Lord was on our side, like we were absolutely on top. The other nations had to pay taxes to us. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine other nations having to pay taxes to us? Like that doesn't even slugging.
That's how, let me get a second Ezra 6 and 54.
Right.
6 and 55 real quick. But yeah.
Like, can you imagine that? That's crazy.
Our brothers and sisters, we in the world, we can't imagine ruling the earth, ruling the world, because we've been oppressed for so long. You understand? We just want to be comfortable, living good under another people. We don't ever think about what about us having our own government, having our own streets, our own restaurants, our own leaders. You understand?
Right.
We're just so destroyed. That doesn't even come into mind. Go ahead and read that up.
54.
54.
Book of 2 Ezra, chapter 6, verse 54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures.
So the Most High God is speaking to a priest and prophet whose name is Esdras, right? And Esdras is speaking to an angel of God, and he's just asking all these questions. When are we going to be saved? When is this oppression going to end? He's just stressed out because at that time he knew he was an Israelite. We knew we were Israelites. We knew who our God was.
Right.
Not like today where we go outside and we try to teach our brothers. They look at us like we're crazy, right? In these days, we knew who we were. And this prophet of God was begging the Most High. He wanted to know the answers. When is all this going to end? You understand? And he's speaking to an angel. Keep going.
Okay. Of him come we all.
So the Most High through his angel is telling him, we all come from Adam, which is true, right? Keep going.
And the people also whom thou hast chosen.
But there is a people also who God chose, who he separated to be his chosen people. And that's Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's why we're here today. You understand? Keep going.
Okay. Verse 55. Mm-hmm. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
The Most High made the world he made the world for everybody.
Our sakes.
For all nations.
Our sakes.
He made the world so we can all be equal.
Our sakes.
And be on top together and hold hands and all nations together.
Our sakes.
He made the world for who?
Our sakes.
Our sakes.
That's right.
This earth belongs to God's children. You understand? That's what this earth belongs to. And that's what the brother is saying. We are supposed to be on top. Even right now, when you look at any sport in the boxing ring, who's the best? And where do they come from? Mike Tyson came from the ghetto. Cesar Chavez came from the ghettos of Mexico.
Right.
Going to baseball. When they want great baseball players, where do they go? They go to the hoods. They go to Dominican Republic, New York City. Yeah. When they want great soccer players, you got all the Ronaldo. They come from the ghettos of Brazil. You understand? Even in our oppression, we are the best. You go into the music, even though it's wrong and we're sinners. When you listen to that music, you are not in your head. Even though they're talking about murder and killing and twerking, you're not in your head because it's good music. And now everybody wants to follow and be like us. Even though it's in the evil side, we still do it the best.
Right.
You take a brother or Hispanic brother who wants to be who wants to live that lifestyle. He's gonna do it better than someone else. Even though it's evil, it's wrong in God's eyes. You understand? It just goes to show you that we do the best when it comes to our own. We do our best when we want to be at the slavery and at work. What we need to do is give the Lord our best because that's what he deserves. You understand?
Right.
And it just goes to show, man, that we are the greatest people. We just need to come back to the Most High, and then we'll be on top. Everybody will be paying us taxes. We'll be ruling. We won't have to go to work and wake up and work a 9 to 5, come home tired. We'll have peace. You understand? You going up. Yeah.
If you could give me Ecclesiasticus, the 12th chapter. That's what I was looking for. You got it?
No.
Verse 10?
No.
Go ahead.
This book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Never do what?
Never trust thine enemy.
Now, why did this have to be written down? You can't even follow this unless you know who your enemy is. The problem is, once again, we're talking about this guerrilla warfare. These cats, these our oppressors have taken it upon themselves to be crafty, just like the serpent that's in the garden. That's why we call them the devil, because they are the same as that devil that was in the garden. They're crafty. You understand? They're going to convince you that they're your friend. What did the devil do in the garden? What did that serpent do in the garden? He made Eve feel comfortable, like he's really trying to help me. You understand?
Right.
He's really trying to help me out.
Right.
Like that's the same thing that our oppressor does right now today in America. They give you they give you Black Lives Matter. Y'all know Black Lives Matter that's a white organization. Now, of course, you have the face of it is those black lesbians, but it's a white organization, and it was given to us to make us feel like we have a little bit of hope. Why did they champion Martin Luther King? Because we have a little bit of hope in Martin Luther King. Right. You understand? But in all the actuality, you're not realizing that they're putting these people in place to make you feel good while you're still being destroyed. Because that's exactly what happened every single time. All of those examples that I gave, that's exactly what I'm talking about. They gave us those things to make us feel good, but in the process of us feeling good, we get destroyed. You understand? Keep reading.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All
right, so y'all know about iron. Like if you leave it out, and it's raining or anything like that, after a few days, the iron's going to rust. It's in the iron's nature to rust. Rust is a bad thing. Everybody knows that. Nobody wants let's say you have a chain link fence or something around your house. You don't want your iron to rust, because what happens? It'll end up disintegrating. It'll weaken the strength of that iron, and eventually the thing it'll fall apart. Rust, of course, is not a good thing, right? So the scripture said what?
Never trust thy enemies.
Mm-hmm.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
So as the iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. We understand that iron it's in iron's nature. When it gets wet, it's going to rust. We understand that. That's normal. We get that. For some reason, we don't understand that it's in our oppressor's nature to be evil, to be wicked. For some reason, we can't wrap our minds around that. And we keep getting shown time after time. You understand? The brother, what's the brother's name? Something Neely. What's the brother's name?
Jordan Neely.
Jordan Neely. We saw it with him. You understand? Where they murdered that man. We saw it with George Floyd. We saw it with Eric Gardner. We see it all the damn time. We saw it with Sandra Bland. We see it with Breonna Taylor. They are continuously showing you that it's in their nature to be evil.
Right.
But for some reason, we don't see it. You understand? For some reason, we like, no, it's good in everybody. That's why I hate some of these cats that that are, spearheading blacks and Hispanics, saying that, no, everybody can, I can see the good in everybody. Yeah, there's bad black people. There's bad, everybody. When in fact, it's not in our nature to be evil. It's not in our nature to be wicked. You understand? But it is in one group of people's nature to be wicked. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's what the scriptures say. The scriptures say that the wicked are estranged from the womb. When it says estranged, it's talking about the fact that they're evil. They're not of the Most High. When somebody's estranged from the womb, it ain't nothing you could do to change it. What can you do to change somebody that was evil from the womb before they took their first breath of air? There's nothing you could do to change these people. So the Lord understands that, and He's telling that. You understand? He's telling us that. Right? Keep going if you could, Bokusha.
Okay. Verse 11. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him.
Right. Even though he humbles himself down and he makes it seem like he's on your side, which happens too many times. He'll make it seem like he's on your side. That's why he gave you Black Lives Matter. You understand? That's why he gave you your Jesse Jackson and your Al Sharptons, because he's trying to make it seem like, yeah, I'm giving you these great leaders. You understand? America, this is the land of the free. You're free here.
Right.
In all actuality, he's making you a comfortable slave. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. So he's crouching himself. He's crouching himself down humbly, like he's humbling himself, like it makes it seem like he's your friend. right? But keep going.
God. And thou shalt be unto him. It's like, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass.
Right. So it said, if you go crouching, right, of course, take good heed and beware of him, even though he's humbling himself. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou have wiped a looking glass. Keep going.
God. And thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away.
You trusted your enemy. But when your eyes clear up, like that's why I say when you're going to be like as if you've wiped your looking glass. Imagine I got these glasses on, but they're real dirty. You understand? Got a bunch of smudges on them. I can't really see very clear. I'm going to wipe these glasses clean and I'm going to see. That person never got that rust has not gone away. That person is still the evil person that I knew him to be. Right. But I gave him a chance. You should never trust your enemy. Don't give him a chance. You understand? And that's why, of course, this to bring it full circle in this class, right? This class is about the fact that the Lord is going to avenge the children of Israel. Like he's going to give us our revenge. But we have to also understand at the same time that while we're here, while we're waiting on our King, Yahweh Shai Mashiach, or Jesus Christ in the English, while we're waiting on him to return, we have to be smart. We can't be idiots here. You understand? Don't trust your enemy. Don't think that you can just, you can trust anybody. Like you have to be on your P's and Q's. The scriptures say, be sober and vigilant, for the devil, your adversary, is like a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. We're always on the radar of our oppressors. You understand? And we have to make sure we understand that, because as soon as you start to lose discipline, as soon as you start to say, well, I can relax a little bit, the scriptures say this is not your rest. As soon as you start to give it a little bit of rest, the devil gonna jump on you, man. And ain't gonna be nothing you could do about it, because the Lord already tried to warn you. You sat in this class today. You read this Bible. You've been in the truth. The Lord already gave you that warning. You have to be vigilant. You have to be 100% one West at all times. If you can't do that, you're going to get caught up. You understand? You have anything to add? No. All right, with that, we're going to go ahead and close out. I might do, which means to stand. When y'all we're done, which means to turn and face the east, which is that way. All right, we're going to read these prayers. Beginning with the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanaw, Shabbat Shemayu, Kodah, Hayah, Shamka, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Ba'arataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashemayu, Nathanaw, Lakam, Kayawam, Wasalakanaw, Kawatnaw, Kasalaknaw, Kawatinaw, Wala'ah, Tabayanaw, Wanasai 1, Abal, Hawashai now, Mayan, Raikaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Waha'ala, Wathapara, Laiwalamyum, Aman.
Now in the English, our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day.
Give us this day.
Our daily bread.
Our daily bread.
Forgive us our debts.
Forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not.
And lead us not
into temptation.
into temptation.
But deliver us.
But deliver us
from evil.
from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
So be it.
So be it. We're going to read the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Babakushai.
Babakushai.
Nathalanawa Hakak.
Hakak.
Hakat Larapa'ah.
Hakat Larapa'ah.
Kawamaka'ala.
Kawamaka'ala.
Wakawamadawa.
Wakawamadawa.
Hakat Latahar.
Hakat Latahar.
Hamatazariah.
Hamatazariah.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Lakwayam.
Lakwayam.
Hamathium.
Hamathium.
Hakak.
Hakak.
Arakawa.
Arakawa.
Hatama'ala.
Hatama'ala.
Lagarshan.
Lagarshan.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Ba'ashem Yahushai.
Waraman.
Waraman. Now in English, Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Please give us the power.
Please give us the
The
power.
power to heal.
The power to heal.
All manner of sickness.
All manner of sickness.
And all manner of disease.
And all manner of
The
disease.
power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean
To
spirits.
cast them out.
To cast them
In
out.
the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. We're going to read Psalms, the 121st chapter in the Hebrew. Asha'a.
Asha'a.
Ayanya.
Ayanya.
Ahahaya.
Ahahaya.
Mayan.
Mayan.
Yaba'a.
Yaba'a.
Isaiah.
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 Ma'aim.
Ma'aim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Shamayam.
Shamayam.
Wa'aratazah.
Wa'aratazah.
Al-Yathan.
Al-Yathan.
Lamawat.
Lamawat.
Ragalka.
Ragalka.
Al-Yanawam.
Al-Yanawam.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Hana.
Hana.
La'a.
La'a.
Yanawa.
Yanawa.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yayasham.
Yayasham.
It's like Shalmar.
Shalmar.
Yashala.
Yashala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Shamarka.
Shamarka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Tazalka.
Tazalka.
Al-Yad.
Al-Yad.
Yamyanka.
Yamyanka.
Yawamam.
Yawamam.
Hashamash.
Hashamash.
La'a.
La'a.
Yakaka.
Yakaka.
Wayarak.
Wayarak.
Balayala.
Balayala.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamarka.
Yashamarka.
Makal Rai.
Makal Rai.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Ath.
Ah.
Napashka.
Napashka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yashamar.
Yashamar.
Taza'athka.
Taza'athka.
Waba.
Waba.
Wa'aka.
Wa'aka.
Ma'aitha.
Ma'aitha.
Wa'ai.
Wa'ai.
Awalam.
Awalam. Now in the English. I will lift up my eyes unto the hills.
I will lift up my eyes into the hills.
From whence cometh my help?
From whence cometh my help?
My help cometh from the Lord.
My help cometh from the Lord,
Which made heaven and earth.
which made heaven and earth.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He will not suffer thy foot to be moved.
He that keepeth thee
He that keepeth thee
will not slumber.
will not slumber.
Behold,
Behold,
he that keepeth Israel
he that keepeth
shall
Israel
neither slumber nor sleep.
shall neither slumber nor sleep.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy keeper.
The Lord is thy shade upon thy right
The
hand.
Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand.
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
The sun shall not smite thee by day,
nor the moon by night.
nor the moon by night.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
The Lord shall preserve thee from all evil.
He shall preserve thy soul.
He shall preserve thy
The
soul.
Lord shall preserve thy going
The
out
Lord shall preserve thy going out
and thy coming in.
and thy coming
From
in,
this time forth
from this time forth
and even forevermore.
and even forevermore. We're going to read Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Allahayim.
Allahayim.
Abdama Yalaka.
Adama Yalaka.
Al Thakarash.
Al Thakarash.
Wa Al Thashakwat.
Wa al Thashakwat.
Al.
Al.
Kayahana.
Kayahana.
Awa Yagika.
Awa Yagika.
Yahamaya 1.
Yahamaya 1.
Ra'ash.
Ra'ash.
Al Imaka.
Al Imaka.
Yariyamwa.
Yariyamwa.
Sawada.
Sawada.
Wayatha.
Wayatha.
Yaitazawa.
Yaitazawa.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Al Tazapawanyaka.
Amarwa.
Amarwa.
Lakawa.
Lakawa.
Wanakakidam.
Wanakakidam.
Magalia.
Magalia.
Wala'a.
Wala'a.
Yazakar.
Yazakar.
Sham Yashala.
Sham Yashala.
Awada.
Awada.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Nawaitazawa.
Nawaitazawa.
Laba.
Laba.
Yakadwa.
Yakadwa.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Maryat.
Maryat.
Yakarathwa.
Yakarathwa.
Ahawya.
Ahawya.
Adawam.
Adawam.
Wayashama Aliyah.
Wayashama Aliyah.
Mawa Abba.
Mawa Abba.
Wahagarya.
Wahagarya.
Gabal.
Gabal.
Waima 1.
Waima 1.
Waimalak.
Waimalak.
Kalashah.
Kalashah.
I'm Yeshabya.
I'm Yeshabya.
Taza War.
Taza War.
Gamasha War.
Gamasha War.
Nalawa.
Nalawa.
Imam.
Imam.
Hayawa.
Hayawa.
Zarawai.
Zarawai.
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan.
Labanya Lawat.
Labanya Lawat.
Salah.
Salah.
Aishalaham.
Aishalaham.
Kamadyan.
Kamadyan.
Kasaya.
Kasaya.
Saraya.
Saraya.
Kayabyan.
Kayabyan.
Wanakal.
Wanakal.
Kwayashwan.
Kwayashwan.
Nashamadwa.
Nashamadwa.
Bayan.
Bayan.
Dara.
Gara.
Kayawa.
Kayawa.
Daman.
Daman.
La'adama.
La'adama.
Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Nada.
Nada.
Yamawa.
Yamawa.
Ka'irab.
Ka'irab.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Abba.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakaza Bak.
Wakatazal.
Katazal.
Mana'ai.
Mana'ai.
Call.
Call.
Nasaya Kamwa.
Nasaya Kamwa.
Ashar.
Ashar.
Amawa.
Amarwa.
Naya Rashad.
Naya Rashad.
Lanawa.
Lanawa.
Ah.
Ah.
Na'awad.
Na'awad.
Allahayim.
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 Shayathamwa.
Shayathamwa.
Kagalgala.
Kagalgala.
Kakwash.
Kakwash.
Lapanya.
Lapanya.
Raka.
Raka.
Ka'ash.
Ka'ash.
Tabaira.
Tabaira.
Ya'ira.
Ya'ira.
It's like Wakala Haba.
Wakala Haba.
Talahat.
Talahat.
Aryam.
Aryam.
Khan.
Khan.
Tharadapma.
Tharadapma.
Masa'irika.
Masa'irika.
Wabasa.
Wabasa.
Wapathka.
Wapathka.
Tabahalam.
Tabahalam.
Malaha.
Malaha.
Panyaham.
Panyaham.
Kuala One.
Kuala One.
Wayabakwashwa.
Wayabakwashwa.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yabashwa.
Yabashwa.
Wayabahawa.
Wayabahawa.
Aya.
Aya.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayakaparwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayabadwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Wayadaiwa.
Kaya Atha.
Kaya Atha.
Shamka.
Shamka.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Labatka.
Labatka.
Aya One.
Aya One.
Akal.
Akal.
Arataza.
Now in the English, Keep not thy silence, O God.
Keep not thy silence, O God.
Hold not thy peace.
Hold not thy peace.
And be not still, O God.
And be not still, O God.
For lo,
lo,
thine enemies make a tumult.
Thine enemies make a tumult.
And they that hate thee
And they that hate thee
have lifted up the head.
have lifted up the head.
They have taken crafty counsel
They have taken crafty counsel
against thy people.
against thy people.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
They have said,
They have said,
Come,
Come,
and let us cut them off from being a nation.
let us cut them off from being a nation.
That the name of Israel
In the name of Israel
may be no more in
may
remembrance.
be no more remembrance.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
For they have consulted together with one sin.
They are confederate against thee.
They are confederate against thee.
The tabernacles of Edom
Tabernacles of Edom
and the Ishmaelites
and the Ishmaelites
of Moab,
of Moab,
the Hagarenes,
Hagarenes,
Gebal,
Gebal,
and Ammon,
and Ammon,
and Amalek,
and Amalek,
the Philistines,
the Philistines,
with the inhabitants of Tyre.
the inhabitants of Tyre.
Assur also is joined with them.
So also is joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
Salah.
Salah.
Do unto them
Do unto them
as unto the Midianites,
as unto the Midianites,
as to Sisera,
as to Sisera,
as to Jabin,
as to Jabin,
at the brook of
at
Kison,
the brook of Kison,
which perished at Endor.
which perished at Endor.
They became as dung for the earth.
They became a dung for the earth.
Make their nobles like Oreb,
Make their nobles like a red,
and like Zeir.
and like Zahir.
Yea,
Yea,
all their princes as Zabah,
all their princes of Sabbath,
and as Almunah,
and as Amun,
who said,
who
Let
said,
us take to ourselves
let us take to
the
ourselves
houses of God in possession.
the houses of God in possession.
Oh my God,
Oh my God,
make them like a wheel,
make them like a wheel,
as a stubble before the wind,
as a stubble before the wind,
as the fire burneth a wood,
as the fire burneth the wood,
as the flame setteth the mountains on fire.
as the flames set the mountains on fire.
So persecute them
So persecute them
with thy tempest,
with thy tempest,
and make them afraid with thy storm.
and make them afraid with thy storm.
Fill their faces with shame,
Fill their faces with
that
shame,
they may seek thy name.
that they may seek thy name.
O Lord,
O Lord,
let them be confounded
let them be confounded
and troubled
and troubled
forever.
forever.
Yea,
Yea,
let them be put to shame and perish,
let them be put to shame and perish,
that men may know that thou,
that they may know that thou,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
whose name alone is Yahweh,
are the most high over all the earth.
are the most high of all the earth. All right, we're going to read the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatha Yahweh.
Barakatha Yahweh.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Yahweh Shai.
Wa Ma'aka Allah.
Wa Ma'aka Allah.
Wa Allah Hayim.
Wa Allah Hayim.
Matazav Ya'al.
Matazav Ya'al.
Allah Wap Yahana.
Allah Yahana.
Ha'ala Wapyum.
Ha'ala Wapyum.
Hasaranyum.
Hasaranyum.
Hakwatazayanyum.
Hakwatazayanyum.
Hakwayayoyum.
Hakwayayoyum.
Slaki Waha Gwathim.
Waha Gwathim.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Hashem Yahweh Shai.
Duwaraman.
The water of man. Now in English, bless you Yahweh.
Bless you, Yahweh.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Yahweh Shai.
And Michael.
And Michael.
And the angels.
And the angels.
Commanding General Yohanan.
Commanding General
The
Yohanan.
generals.
The generals.
The captains.
The captains.
The officers.
The officers.
The troopers.
The troopers.
And the sisters.
And the sisters.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
In the name of Yahweh Shai.
Thank you, so be it.
Thank you, so be it. Sorry while you're shopping. Y'all can be seated. All right. Any brothers that would like to get anointed, you can step up to this area. Y'all got the oil already? Y'all got the oil already? So in Christ, we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna say this prayer. How this gonna work? We're gonna say this prayer. When we point to you, you'll say your name. We'll repeat it. We'll do that 3 times. All right. And then of course, put these prayers in. All right. So let me get one more. You got anointed? No, sir. Did you get anointed? You get anointed?
No.
Come up here. Couple shot.
Just back up.
All right, we're gonna read these prayers. They come out of Numbers, the 6th chapter. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Washamarka.
Washamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem.
Ba'ashem.
Yahweh Shai.
Yahweh Shai.
Barak.
Barak,
Rapah,
Rapah,
Magan,
Magan,
Hagan,
Hagan,
Apaya.
Apaya,
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 The Makia.
the Makia,
Razan.
Razan,
Kazak.
Kazak,
Kazak.
Kazak,
Kazak.
Kazak,
Shar.
Shar,
Yoel,
Yoel, Yoel,
Sahari.
Sahari,
Sahari.
What's his verse?
Zion.
Zion. Say it again. Zion. One more. Zion. Mosiah in Christ. Clap it up for these brothers. What I'm talking about. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Now, any sisters that would like to be anointed, please step up. Any sisters that would like to be anointed, you can step up for the hold on y'all. Judea, Narah. Hey, stand right here. And I would like to publicly say the water to you sisters for helping out with my girls. I really appreciate it. They're a handful sometimes. So I appreciate you sisters for real. The water. Make sure you get that little one right there. She definitely needs it.
hiding in the back.
Yeah, she don't want that noise. She jammed up. She trying to hide. Nah, you gonna get this anointing.
All right.
She running from it.
She got a double portion.
Yeah, most of that's what she needed. The Lord knew that. All right, once again, we're gonna do the same. Y'all know drill. We're gonna read these prayers. We point to you, say name 3 times. All right. Yep. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Waya Shamarka.
Waya Shamarka.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Ya'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Waya Kanka.
Waya Kanka.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Yasha'ar Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Pan Yahweh.
Alyaka.
Alyaka.
Waya Shamlaka.
Waya Shamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Waya Shem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapah.
Rapah.
Magun.
Magun.
Hagun.
Hagun.
Rayana.
Rayana. Rayana.
Yane.
Yane. Yane.
You said so.
Nadia. 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 Aurora. Aurora. Aurora.
That's good. And then the little girls, I would say their name. Y'all just get me. Babusha. Judea.
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 Narah.
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 Hashem Yahushua.
Hashem Yahushua.
The water of month.
The water of month.
Clap it up for these sisters. And so what we said in the English comes out of Numbers, the 6th chapter, the 22nd verse through the 27th verse. Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, bless, heal, shield, and protect all of these brothers and sisters that we anointed today. All right, get out of here. We're going to go ahead and close out. So men of Israel, Majum, just the brothers. Majum means stand. We're going to give each other a courtesy salute to salute out the Sabbath service. Men of Israel, Majum. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Barakatah.
So toward the sisters. That means turn toward the sisters. Sisters Amajum, which means to stand. We're going to give the sisters a courtesy salute as well. Come. You're going to take your hand, your right hand over your left. Hold it like this. Just like that. You got to flip the hands around. Yep, there you go. You two sisters. Flip the hands, right hand over your left. There you go. Most High in Christ. All right. They getting it. They getting it. The water says for helping them out. All right. We're going to get the sisters a courtesy salute. Men of Israel. Amajum Shabbat. Amajum Barak.
Yahweh Shamar Hashem Yahushua.
All right. Yahweh Shamar Alathan Ba'Hashem Yahushua, which means the Most High in the name of Christ watch over you. All right. With that, Yajim Matah, we're dismissed.